Welcome to Bull, out for the.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Jason Plays back in this jank with another video. And on this video, I'll just be sharing some of my thoughts about the Nintendo Switch 2 at this point in its life. Now, if you've been fortunate enough to get your hands on a Switch 2 and you go into the eShop and you look at the best sellers list, and you will see something that is becoming pretty interesting. Now, compared to the Switch 1, the eShop's bestseller page, you will see 90 to 95% Nintendo first-party titles. But with the Switch 2, you're starting to see some variation in the bestsellers list. If you have Switch 2 specifically selected, you will notice that you're starting to see third-party games becoming more prevalent and showing up in the bestsellers page. Interestingly enough, I had this conversation earlier this morning with two of my friends. One of those who stated to me that he was not that all satisfied or excited about many of the upcoming Switch 2 games that are on the horizon, with the exception of Metroid Prime 4. I then instantly reiterated that the Switch 2 has only been out since June, and Nintendo has given us Mario Kart World at launch, Donkey Kong Bonanza 1 month later. You also got Pokemon ZA coming up in October, Kirby Air Riders, and you still have Metroid Prime 4 Beyond before the end of the year. So that's like 5 big Nintendo franchises in the span of a 6-month period. Now, this does not include the 4K upgrades to some of the best Switch 1 releases like Tears of the Kingdom and Kirby the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World. Not to mention, we still may have some first-party surprises that are still yet to be announced, whether it be new games or more Switch 2 editions of other first-party titles. And then you also have to take a moment to look at some of the notable third-party games that have also released since launch going forward towards the end of this year, 2025. Some of those titles are Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, Yakuza 0, Cyberpunk 2077, Madden 26, NBA 2K26, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Street Fighter 6, Elden Ring is also scheduled for 2025, Hollow Knight Silksong, EA FC 26, Borderlands 4, Star Wars Outlaws, and WWE 2K26. Now, these are just some of the bigger notable titles that have also launched or are launching soon within the same time period as the Nintendo exclusives that I just mentioned. And one thing that you also have to keep in mind is that games like Street Fighter 6, WWE 2K26, Madden 26, and 2K26, these are proper versions of those titles. Madden, for example, is the same version of Madden that you get on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox consoles, with the exception of the frame rate being closer to 30 frames rather than 60, and that some of the texture quality that you're losing, but overall it's still the same experience. But I also would like to mention that there are a couple of games like Street Fighter 6 and or WWE 2K26 where the games are really close graphically to what you get on the PlayStation 5, and they also have 60 frames per second frame rates as well. So those things can both be achieved. It's just that the developers have to take the time to actually optimize the game properly. So what I believe may be proven right in this generation of the Switch 2 is that now the Switch can play basically everything a Series S can play, and sometimes even with better image quality. So as long as games being ported to the Switch are competent ports, third-party games will sell. This could be an opportunity to expand your gaming horizons, because there are great experiences in gaming besides experiences that only Nintendo creates. And now, great versions of these titles are available for you to enjoy. So I hope that developers will continue to see a value in the Switch platform and their fans, and continue to bring high quality, competent ports of their biggest games to Nintendo. So there could be even more titles available for the Switch 2 now or releasing in 2025 if Nintendo had a better strategy at disseminating their development kits out to developers. What the reports online were saying is that Nintendo had some type of method in which they were deciding specifically who would and who would not receive development kits in some type of timely order. So that could be a reason why a game like Black Ops 7 will not be launching on the Switch 2 when it launches on other consoles, but early in 2026 instead. And it's also been reported that maybe Nintendo was showing some type of loyalty to developers that were showing loyalty to their platform at a time when Nintendo was having difficulties in the industry. But if I was in position to make that decision, I most likely would have made sure that my development kits were in the hands of the publishers and developers that have the biggest mainstream games, knowing that my system was capable of running these games in parity with the competition. But that's all I got for this video. So if you like this content, hit that like button, share with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yeah, we gaming ghosts.
I'm walking the bull,